Well, hello there, niggas and wiggers. It's been a little while. Uppity white guy's been under the weather, so, you know. Yeah. I've been under the weather a little bit, so you haven't gotten any videos. Well, of course, a couple days ago, something horrific happened in the world. And I feel I need to talk about this, but I'm not going to go into massive detail and give you niggas a history lesson, because if I talk about the creation of Israel, fucking Palestine, the POL, Lebanon, how they took over that country, then you got Hamas, and all this horseshit, then we'll be here for 3 hours. Okay, so we're gonna keep it short, okay? And just what happened over the past, day or so. We're just gonna keep it short, okay? Because these videos aren't supposed to be an hour. Now, once I get my podcast going, Nigga Please, with Uppity White Guy, that could be an hour. Okay, but we're not going to do that with these videos. These videos are like 15, 20 minutes and shit. Okay, and then I'm out. Balls out. I'm gone. So, okay. Israel in the Middle East. Now, I know in this country, the most complaining race is blacks. Man, they complain about anything. No one's had it harder than the blacks. Let me explain to you, blacks. No one's had it harder than Jews. In World War II, 6 million of you weren't put into ovens. Okay, no one's had it harder than the Jews. You go out through history, they've always been persecuted. Probably because they've been a very successful race. They weren't allowed to practice a lot of other forms of work. So they went into bank and things. And they became very successful at it. Because people didn't let the Jews do stuff, so they're like, oh, we're going to do banking. That's kind of how it happened. The word ghetto, by the way, blacks, comes from the Jews. Yes, it does. Way back when we're talking like, I don't know, 800 BC or 500 BC. I mean, before we were in AD, before we were even in triple digits, or 4 digits, we were only in triple digits. The Romans, if they didn't convert to Christianity, if the Jews didn't convert to Christianity, what happened is the Romans would tell the Jews, okay, you can come and go to work and so forth, but then in the evening you gotta go over there. And it was behind a fence where this like factory was, okay? And I believe it was an old copper factory. And basically, I can't remember how to pronounce the word for it, but in foreign language, the word loosely translated to ghetto. And so that's where the Jews had to go in the evening. They could leave in the morning, but in the evening they couldn't mingle with society if they didn't convert to Christianity. They had to go behind a fence. So they lived by the copper factory, ghetto. That's where it comes from, so no, blacks, you don't own the word ghetto. It's been around for thousands of years. Way before you, way before somebody brought you to this country, so stop your crying. You don't get to cry about it. Again, something you didn't invent. So anyway, the Jews have been prosecuted forever and ever, thousands of years. I mean, I guess, if you want to get biblical and stuff, they're God's people, so everyone hated them because they were the chosen ones. You could say many things, but the fact is you can't deny is they've been persecuted for years. I said prosecuted. They've been persecuted for years. Thousands of years. So this weekend, another attack. Horrible deaths. Why no one picked up on it, intelligence-wise, I have no idea. An attack this big, you'd think there would have been chatter or something, and nobody saw it coming. Which is, like, really odd, I find. But people might have been distracted with something called Ukraine, or the Jews, they were attacked on a Jewish holiday, so it's perfect time to attack them. They were kind of celebrating one of their holidays, so, yeah. I don't know why anyone didn't pick up on this. But, okay. They were attacked horribly by Hamas, which is another terrorist organization. Again, these state-sponsored terrorist organizations, they're terrible because they're kind of like smoke. They blend in with the population. So, oh no, we can't bomb over there because the terrorist bomb-making factory is under a kindergarten school. it's always something like that. And they've learned this guerrilla warfare kind of shit. And they go and hide behind people and then say, we're tougher than you, and then they hide behind a 5-year-old kid. So they're all a bunch of pussies. But it's the way it is. That's how they conduct wars and how they conduct business. So Iran definitely sponsored them. And now you can get into Iran. They hate us, and they kind of have good reason to hate us. We supported, here's a brief history lesson, wiggas and niggas. We supported the Shah of Iran, and he beat his people. And they were a very much westernized country back then. But the people did not like him, and we supported him. So when these mullahs and extremists overthrew him and ran him out of the country, one, we let him come here, which was a hideous mistake, because he needed back surgery or some shit. I don't remember what it was. It was the 70s. I was a little kid. Something like that, briefly. But because we supported them all along and then gave him shelter, they don't like us. And you can't blame them in a way. However, that doesn't excuse their actions. Okay? Terrorist is a terrorist. I don't give a fuck what happened 50 years ago. Get the fuck over it. Terrorist is a terrorist is a terrorist. And so Iran is definitely behind this. They've often said they don't want Israel to exist. I mean, plain and simple, exist. They are a threat. And when Trump was in office, he stopped funding. We were going to give them billions of dollars. Trump said, what are you, retards? Well, what happened is, this brain-dead retard came in office. He let the money flow. So part of this is on the United States. Part of this attack is definitely on the United States, and the man sitting in the Oval Office, this brain-dead fucking retard. $8 million went to Iran for some hostages, I believe. Oh, we're only going to use it for humanitarian. That's like giving the bully your lunch money, and he goes, I'm only going to distribute this to other kids that can't eat lunch. Yeah, the fuck he is. Okay, he's going to keep it. Probably get an extra lunch for himself, because if you know anything about bullies, they're usually like chunky and fat, and yeah, it's always the same thing. So, no, they're not going to use that for humanitarian aid. They're going to fund terrorism. That's what they do. So we just funded terrorism. But the moron in the White House and his cackling whore that's sitting next to him, they're fucking dumb as shit. And Obama, who's really running the show, well, fuck, he's a Muslim anyway. Barack Hussein Obama? Come on, he's a fucking Muslim. This guy never did anything to curtail their activity. In fucking 8 years, that cocksucker was in the White House. He's a piece of shit. And you know who's running the show. Second, a lot of the weapons they're using now to kill the Jews came from Afghanistan. Oh, what happened there? Didn't follow the Trump plan. Asshole left billions and billions and billions of dollars of high-grade arms, tanks, helicopters to terrorists. And 13 servicemen and women, which nobody speaks of anymore. Apparently everybody's forgotten it. No, that was yesterday's news. I haven't forgotten it. 13 men and women, servicemen and women, which never needed to happen. But under this retard, brain-dead, no-brain retard that we have in the White House, he has now funded Iran, funded terrorists, and armed them. That's fucking great. This guy's a fucking retard. And so they turn around and use this shit against Iran. And they've slaughtered tons of people, families, everything else. Now, what I hope happens and what Iran needs to do, and this is bad. You say, oh, two wrongs don't make a right, all this stuff. You need, see, Hamas doesn't care, they're terrorists. They go in there and kill innocent people. And I'm sorry, they're innocent Muslims too. They really are. They're good Muslims, but unfortunately, they're in the way. And if Hamas does this shit, you know, there is no, every time we fight a war, or the West fights a war, we always try and target around the innocent people. Our enemies don't do that. They'll just blow up the whole city block, and everyone goes with it. We need to have the same thought process. I know it's evil, I know it's terrible, but you can't win if you're trying to fight strategically around somebody so this person doesn't get hurt. Fuck that shit. They started it. What needs to happen is, basically, however they do it, Israel needs to turn Iran into a smoldering hole in the ground. Like, literally, everybody needs to be wiped off the planet. It will send a message, and it will get rid of the terrorists, or enough of them so that they'll think twice before doing this shit again. They need to send them back to Allah very quickly. They need to turn it into a smoldering hole in the ground. I don't care if they nuke it, how many bombs they drop. That's tough shit. Sorry if somebody's Muslim grandmother dies. Blame it on Hamas, not Israel. And what's disgusting is I see these people on these college campuses. Man, they are fucking retards in this country. Cheering for Palestine. Which, again, if you want to get into the history, that's who they're fighting over, because Palestine says they own the land. People never really acknowledged these people. Supposedly they were Jordanians or whatever. Nobody acknowledged them, but then when we gave the land to Israel, hey, that's mine, I'm Palestinian. Who the fuck are you? This is what happens. So there were these people running around in the sand. They're claiming now they're Palestinians. They're a separate race and blah, 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 blah. You need to acknowledge them. And so we took their land, supposedly. I don't fucking know, okay? But that's life. Okay, get over it. What needs to happen, I may have my history wrong, but I don't think so. Again, this ain't going to be 3 hours. Look, what needs to happen is they need to flatten every single one. And these people that are protesting over it, throw them out of college immediately. Throw them the fuck out of college. Hey, those are the same people that are trying to curtail your free speech. You know what? Go fuck themselves. Throw them out of fucking college and start some sort of deportation process. Send them to Iran. They can go to college there. Send them to Libya. They can go to college with the Palestine Liberation Organization and the PLO. And if they're women, they'll do just fine. Especially if they got women with 3-color hair and shit from California. Send them over. Send them over. Just airdrop them. They'll be fine. Fuck them. That needs to happen. These other things, this Omar and this AOC and this Tlaib, whatever her name is, these congressmen that always side with Palestine and they have a picture standing next to a Palestinian flag outside, you're in the wrong country. Get them out of Congress now. Out of the fucking building. Walk them out. Have a vote. Whatever. You gotta taser them and drag their carcass out of the fucking building. That's it. We're not playing anymore. And don't give me this, they got rights. Drag them all the way down the steps so their head hits every fucking step when they go down. Get them the fuck out. Put them on a plane, send them to Iran. Those women will see how they get treated when they get over to Iran. That's what you're supporting? Send them there. Fuck off. And that's what needs to be done. We need to stop pussyfooting around with this shit. As far as Michigan goes, they have so many mosques. Close them all down and deport every fucking Muslim. From now on, no Muslim enters this country. That's it. Not even from friendly Muslims. That's it. You're Muslim, you don't come in. You got 1/10 Muslim, fuck you. You don't come in. That's what's going to happen. That's what should happen. What is going to happen is that our borders are wide open. So the attack you just saw will be coming our way shortly. In under a decade. Something will start blowing up here. And then you'll hear the liberals, oh, how'd this happen? And people that voted for this shit, like people I know, like people I used to work with, like Charlie and his wife Stephanie and shit, your kid is how old? Yeah, he's gonna be drafted soon. You just sent him to war because you're fucking retarded. I hope he comes back in one piece. He might not. And you know, that's your fucking problem. So because of people's pussyfooting around with terrorists and trying to hold hands with them and all this other shit, we got what we got. You need to level it. Remember how we did Japan? Yeah, kind of same thing. You need to level the area. There needs to be a smoldering ash hole. That's all there is to it. That's what Iran needs to be. But unfortunately, nobody has the sack to do it. We keep restraining Israel. Oh, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. let them do it. It needs to become a hole in the ground. It's a piss hole. It needs to become one. That's it. People protesting, people here speaking up for, oh, Palestine and everything. These are the same people that want to curtail your free speech, so fuck them. Their free speech don't matter. Get them out the country. At least throw them out of college. That's it. They're done. They're done. These bitches, throw them out of Congress. If they won't leave, taser them and drag them all the way down to concrete steps. They need to go. They're not American. They don't need to be there. This Michigan problem, close every fucking mosque. Probably send it to rubble. Do not let another mosque be built in this country. Oh, Islamophobic. Yeah, you bet I am. Go fuck yourself. Close the fucking mosque. That's it. Take those fucking Muslim worshipping pieces of shit and ship them back home. They don't like it here. They don't like the freedoms. They want to change it. Go back home. You don't need to be here. It's that simple. We're not under Islamic law. I don't recognize that shit. I never will. You need to go. That's it. It's not that fucking hard, people. It's really fucking not. Okay? Those are my quick thoughts on it. My history isn't exactly 100% correct everywhere, I know. I could go into a 3-hour video, like I said, and get all the correct history and lay some on you, but it's a 3-hour video. Maybe I'll do it in a podcast. I'm just not going to do that right now. I just want to make a quick video and say this is terrible, and this is what needs to be done. And remember, from Uppity White Guy, if she nags, you have the right to gag. Alright, niggas, take care. Remember, these balls